Welcome to Working Through It Wednesday with the Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina. We had an exciting opportunity today to share with you a little bit more about the Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina and a wonderful opportunity that we have to share with everyone called Basking in the Spotlight. And we're going to go through a little bit about what we can share. And that's why we've invited our program manager, Taylor Davis, here to share with us a little bit more on the Behavioral Alliance and what we can offer so that we can highlight some of the expertise that's going on within our area, within our districts, and within our community. So we've got Taylor here. I'll allow her to introduce herself. She's an amazing person and a great leader, and we thank her for being here.
Erin, I absolutely adore you, and I could not do this work in any way, shape, or form without the entirety of our team. But as Erin gives me this really lovely welcome, Erin is the assistant program manager on Basque, and the work that we do would not happen without her. And of course, we're going to share with you all a little bit about some of the other members of our team, because for our topic today, what we really wanted to share is not only who Basque is or who the school behavioral health community is at large, but in these skills sessions, we really focus on a much broader perspective of what skills are, and the underpinnings, or kind of the philosophical underpinnings of Basque, are, at least in my mind, and maybe Erin, you could speak towards this as well, is how do we create greater school connectedness? How are we making sure that not only are we integrating best practices, but we're modeling what we're asking our community members, our school districts, our stakeholders to be able to do? And so when it comes to the skills, I think that Erin and I would like to discuss today, it's really about connectedness. It's really about wellness. And it's about how do we create a sense of agency that is collaborative, but also that we're looking at, the tools and the structures that help us to achieve that with fidelity. So we wanted to share that with you all, because within those skills and within connectedness, we know that it's a teamwork. It makes the dream work. And you all, as a part of our virtual community, and some of you all that we actually get to engage with personally, are such a huge part of that work. And we would love to be able to have your voices present in the work that we're doing. And so we're certainly going to expand on that. So we hope that y'all will walk alongside us today and see where maybe you fit in to this picture. So without further ado, I'll move us forward a little bit here. So we are Basque, which is the Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina. Basque is a grant-funded initiative through the Department of Education's Office of Special Education Services. We could not do this work without the support of the incredible leadership at OSIS. We are so grateful for their collaboration with us, and they certainly are incredibly involved, which is an absolute blessing in the work that we do, and helps provide us a great deal of guidance to support the populations, both special education as well as general education, across the board, because we know that if we're looking at those individuals that may have the most need, my belief and I believe our team's belief is, if we're catering our interventions, our supports to those individuals that may be most vulnerable or most at risk for developing emotional disabilities, or behavioral differences, then we're really doing better by the entirety of the school climate. Would you say that, Erin, kind of is something that fits pretty well together?
Absolutely. I would say ditto. You're very well spoken, and you speak well for our team to share exactly what our vision is and why we're here. It's all about helping everyone in the community, but really focusing on what we can do to help our students that may develop an emotional disability, or, like you said, behavioral differences. I love that term. That's what we're here for, and we do a great job of it thanks to you.
Oh, you're far too much credit. I believe that we've got to throw some of that credit over to our educators, our administration, and our leadership, both at the University of South Carolina and statewide as well. So collaboration is key. So why don't we move forward? And I believe everyone can read a slide, right? And we want to make sure that we're sharing these resources. But if we take all of this language that's on this slide about our vision for academic success, reduction of barriers for individuals with specific needs, uplifting social, emotional, behavioral health, wellness, and academic functioning of students, what we're really looking at is school connectedness, right? How do we say you matter? How do we say you matter to us? You know, what you're going through as individuals, as unique persons, is important, and almost in my eyes, and this is my worldview, paramount to everything else, because we know a happy, healthy student, a happy, healthy educator, a happy, healthy community is going to produce more positive academic outcomes, right? And certainly a student and community culture that is very much embedded in what the goals of the state of South Carolina are. So within Basque, you know, we look at how do we support our schools? How do we support our districts? How do we create a community conversation? But that we're doing that around what we know are these evidence-based frameworks. And what I really love, one of our primary leaders at OSIS, along with Dr. Nicole Adams, is Kristen Douglas, and she is absolutely amazing. And we've been discussing high leverage practices for youth with for social emotional learning. So we're embedding that in here, and you'll see, I think within a lot of our fields, we use a lot of acronyms, right? So you see down here at the bottom, we've got PBIS, we've got MTSS and ISF, which, by the way, Aaron is a leader in our field around ISF, and our program director, Dr. Mark Weiss, this is, you know, his innovation, along with other contributors as well. But within these really important acronyms, what we're really looking at are what are the frameworks that we can implement so that we're being collaborative. How are we not only creating access, but we're creating equity? So, you know, sometimes that can get lost, right, in the acronyms that we use. So PBIS, for those of you, for our caregivers that are present with us today that may not be familiar, positive behavior interventions in schools. Right? How are we promoting health and wellness? What are the things that we're doing that are saying, you know, that's really a strength that you have, Taylor. That's a strength that you have, Aaron. And how do we lift those pieces so that we can see you excel both inside the classroom and at home? And the incredible pieces of this puzzle are that for, again, our caregivers that are with us today, you can take these same interventions and replicate them at your dinner table, right? Whether it's mindfulness practices, which I know, Aaron, are kind of part of the heart and soul of well, your heart and soul. And then we've got MTSS, right? So MTSS, we're looking at multi-tiered systems of support. And that simply means, you know, do we have all of our stakeholders at the table? Are we ensuring that we've got our mental health professionals present, that we're looking at the individualized needs of our students, as well as, and I'd like to extend that to our faculty and our community. So do you have youth voice? Do you have parent and caregiver voice? Are you making sure that you've got, you know, your teacher leaders at the table, your administrators, district level leadership, let's see here, your social workers? I mean, I think we could go through, if it was up to us, we would have literally everyone at the table. And that's the beauty of it. We say, you know, how do we support this individual holistically and make sure that we're doing it respective of belief systems, value systems, and resources? And if we're resource scarce, then how do we activate what we've already got in our schools? And for some of you, you may know, you know, I believe that the schools are the heartbeat of our communities, and we have got the most loving and supportive individuals embedded within our school system. So how do we say, you know what? We may have a barrier here, but we've got something beautiful here. So how do we take that beauty, give that individual, that team, the skills and the tools that they need to uplift that conversation and be able to fill in that gap? And then Erin, I'm going to throw ISF over to you because I would be remiss to not do that. So if you could share a little bit about how ISF helps us to bring fidelity to what we're doing, as well as that really critical mental health or behavioral health others perspective.
Absolutely. So you said that really well. Within PBIS and MTSS and ISF, the Interconnected Systems Framework, all we're really doing is saying, yeah, it's great vision, this idea, how do we put it in a framework, and then how do we measure it? That's all it is. It's just the ability to, when you walk into a school and you feel that positive climate and culture, you know it when you feel it. How do we quantify that? How do we measure it? How do we say this is what the steps to get there? It's exactly what these frameworks are. The Interconnected Systems Framework is really just being able to interconnect whatever frameworks you do have and match them. So if you're using the multi-tiered systems of support or positive interventions and supports, being able to say, we also have this school mental health program, whatever you're using within your school, if you have multiple mental health programs, and merging those two. So we've got the mental health clinicians supporting across all the tiers and being at the table when we're discussing students, and interconnecting exactly what it is in the name, being able to provide that integrated support for all students so that we've got early access, no student is left behind, and that mental health is being provided for all students and faculty and staff and families as well.
Is because just like physical health, we all have varying degrees of mental health, and some of us may live with mental illnesses, but at the same time, if we have a culture of compassion, if we have the opportunity to reduce stigma, that's really what these also allow us to do. Something that's really important, I think, is to be mindful that data it's not just numbers, right? It gives us, it's empowering. It gives us objectivity to be able to respond to the needs that we're seeing, and making sure that we're doing it in such a way that that we are being inclusive and that we're being exceptionally mindful. And something that I really appreciate too is, and Erin, forgive me, I can't remember exactly the statement that you just said, but you know, you made a point about if you've already got some of these teams in place, how do you connect them, right? So it's, how do we say, we get it. Everyone wears a ton of hats. And I can tell you on our team, and I know Erin would say the same thing, we all wear an incredible amount of hats as well. And we want to make sure that we're not overburdening. So we're saying, you know, what do you already have? And one thing that Basque, and we'll talk a little bit about this here at the end, is, you know, one of the functions of Basque at what we call in our realms, in our realm 3, is how do we provide coaching and technical assistance to look at the resources that you already have, you know, do a little bit of resource mapping and activate those resources that are already functioning well, and then supplement them, so that we're not, again, overburdening resources, but rather utilizing them effectively. So that actually, there we go. It's almost, Erin, like we've seen these slides before, you know?
It's like we made them.
I know, it's a little bit like we made the slides. So Basque does function in three different realms, and within each of those realms, we have different strategies, but predominantly what's going to be guiding all of the strategies in our 3 realms are to making sure that we're planning, we're coordinating and leading programmatic and implementation efforts, or rather supporting those. We certainly offer an incredible amount of professional development opportunities, which, by the way, we can also offer CEUs. I know this is a prime time. A lot of us are still working remotely, as both Erin and I are right now. So we'd like to share with y'all a little bit more about that and hopefully be able to get you engaged. I shared a bit about our coaching and technical assistance programming, and then, of course, monitoring, evaluation, and sharing performance feedback. We know that evaluation is really critical, and I know that the data and those pieces aren't necessarily all of our favorites, but when we think about data as individuals, we think about numbers as more than numbers, it becomes far more meaningful, especially when we're looking at mental health, when we're looking at some of the significant amount of trauma and what I call, how heavy are the experiential backpacks that our kids are wearing. And I know that many of you that are engaging with us today understand and empathize and sympathize with how much our kids, our families really do have on their plates, not certainly, prior to the unprecedented times that we're living in now, but also how are we going to respond to those things that have been going on within our communities during the past couple months. So our first realm, and we're excited that we've had the opportunity to augment and shift this in this new virtual world. We have an incredible conference that we put on annually. This is along with the Southeastern School Behavioral Health Community. Some of you, I'm sure, have engaged or even presented at this conference. And we have this annually, typically in Myrtle Beach. There is an incredible community of practice that comes together. But for Basque this year, we are offering a virtual track, which is going to be a fantastic, I think adventure would be a very good word for us in planning. And we'll be using all kinds of different technology for us to say, you know what, for those of us who are still physical distancing and would like to be able to still engage and participate, we want to make sure that we're offering that. So we'll be doing a hybrid conference this year. So initially we had our 2020 conference, and then now that's been moved to 2021. So we will still be doing a live conference, but Basque will be supporting specifically that virtual conference. So we'll share with y'all another way to create some connectedness with us if you've got more questions around how you might be able to engage in that virtual conference. But we are very, very excited about figuring out our platforms and our strategies and putting together the framework that's going to create that opportunity for enhanced engagement across the state. And I think, Erin, last year, I want to say we had over 12 different states represented at the conference, and it really is absolutely incredible. And I know that this virtual component is going to be a huge piece of that puzzle as well. All right, so what I would call our traditional or our original, maybe our core principles of what Realm 2 were, we're offering monthly webinars. Now, these webinars that we offer monthly are hour-long webinars. They are pre-registration, but we do live stream them as well. It's 2020, so we want to make sure that whether you are on Facebook, if you're on YouTube, if you want to join us on Zoom, that we make sure that we open all the doors and windows for everyone to climb through, because the more the merrier is definitely what we focus on. So this offers us national speakers. We have a huge community of practice from our PBIS centers. Let's see, who else can we add to that? Mid-Atlantic. Erin, help me with let's see here, Midwest, PBIS.
Mid-Atlantic, Midwest, the Family School Alliance, all of the above. We've got many people that come and participate.
University of South Carolina, yeah. Family Engagement Center. So, I mean, it's absolutely incredible. And this Thursday, if you haven't had an opportunity to register yet, at 4 p.m., we'll be having Dr. Aiden Ayakini. She's absolutely wonderful, and she'll be presenting on reduction of high school dropout rates through use of motivational interviewing. And motivational interviewing is an incredible skill. You don't have to be a clinician to be able to utilize this. It's a way of talking and engaging that's strength-based, that helps other individuals be able to see, really where they shine. And I think that that's something that we need to be quite mindful of, is how do we remind our kids and our colleagues that you shine really bright like a diamond. I know that Dr. Ayakini will bring that to the table, and I'll tell you, I got a sneak peek at the slides, so you're going to want to engage in that. We hope to see you all there. Registration is still open. Again, we do that monthly, which correlates to our monthly newsletter. So if you would like to receive that, please let us know. It is an incredible amount of resources, information, as well as uplifting outreach and awareness. And then a work in progress, which I think for all of us in the field, when we're looking at resources, our resource repository, we have a huge compendium of resources that are available to you all under a number of different areas of interest. And we are continuing to grow that, augment, and we're really doing a lot of work on our website right now. So we're excited to show y'all where that's going to be going. Now, within the culture that we're experiencing and the shifts that many of us, whether we're in public health, direct service providers, academia, whatever the case may be, we all really had to make this massive virtual shift. Learn how to use Zoom effectively, learn how to use Teams effectively, learn how to integrate all these different platforms. So I want to let Erin share with you all, and this is really what we're hoping that you all see in terms of connectedness, where we can have a high degree of engagement from those of you that are participating today, or anyone that that you are connected with that you would like to uplift, are our new, what we call, virtual enhancements. We're always coming up with, we try and have new and fun names. So Erin, if you could share with folks a little bit, and I like to add in where I can, because I get pretty excited about resources and engagement. So you could share with everybody what we're really here to do today, which is create greater connectedness with you all and with our Basque team.
Absolutely. So our amazing team at Basque came together and said, we've got to pivot, right? Everyone has to pivot right now. We've got to move into this virtual world. What ways can we enhance our virtual platforms to support our schools, communities, families, caregivers, everyone that we can reach? And the first piece of that we came up with was basking in the spotlight. So this is the main piece that we hope you'll be able to connect with us on. What it is we highlight someone that is really showing a great strength in our school community, families, anyone that you see really needs a shout out right now. And we've got a form that I'll share with you in just a second, so that you can reach out, fill out the form to nominate them. And then we want to highlight them on our virtual website and do a quick interview with them, just highlight their skills, what they're doing, whatever the reason is that they were nominated. And then we'll be able to share that with everyone, posted on our Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, and just give a positive shout out, because we all need a little bit uplifting right now. We do that every Monday. We have different people around the community within the southeastern area that are nominated. We're hoping that if you see someone that needs to be nominated, please, by all means, fill out the form that I'll show you how to get to in just a second. And then we can get them on and really just share their light. That's what we're here to do, and be able to do that for other people, because it's so important right now to find a little bit of love and caring for each other. The next piece that we have, so that's on Mondays, is Basking in the Spotlight. We also have Working Through It Wednesday, which is a little mini webinar series that we've got going on. Quick little 30-minute videos to highlight skills from educators or community members, anyone that has an area of expertise that they want to share. So for example, from this video right here that you can see, we have a great video from Dr. Cynthia Anderson from the May Institute, and she talks about the pitfalls of functional behavior assessments. And she shares it in a way that it could be accessed by educators or community members or family members to really understand a functional behavior assessment. When the school recommends that, what does it mean for my student? What does it mean for my child? How can I help make sure that we're all doing what we can so that it works, so that a functional behavior assessment is appropriate and it leads into the correct behavior intervention plan? So those are those quick 30-minute skill-based webinars. We have an amazing one coming up for July. We're doing a culturally responsive webinar series. We're going to highlight Dr. Klaus Elhers from Rutgers University, talking about multicultural guidelines in reference to APA, and how we can really work together within the school and communities to support the multicultural guidelines. And we also have Dr. Michael Lindsay from New York University, who's going to share a little bit with us on his research in reference to family engagement, as well as Black youth suicide. We'll be with us for Working Through It Wednesday, and we're going to highlight him as well in July for our monthly webinar. Those are some really great things coming up. And it's a lot. It's a lot of information. We're putting out a lot of things, a lot of content because we want to keep everyone informed and aware and be able to access what pieces they want to. So we've housed all of it within our calendar of events page. So if you go to our website, then you can click on the calendar. We've got a live calendar that shows on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, sometimes the weekends if there's something going on that's within our area or within our community or virtually that everyone can access. So we've got it laid out a little bit more so that it houses everything. That's the best place to find all of it. I will also say that all the videos are on our YouTube. And lastly, if you'd like to highlight anyone, I'm going to share my screen real quick and show the form, the nomination form, that we can highlight and nominate others for. So if you email us at the Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina, the email address is Basque, BASC, at mailbox.sc.edu. Let us know you've got someone you'd like to nominate, and we'll send you this nomination form. It's a quick filling out form survey so that we can just get a little bit more information on who you want to nominate, their name, what you're nominating them for, and then we'll contact that person and set up a time to record and go through with them exactly what they're nominated for and how we can support them. It's a great way to just give a little love for the people that are doing such great work in your area. Taylor, anything to add?
Well, as per usual, you do a phenomenal job. I think that one piece of the puzzle there is, don't be too shy. And Erin, I think that you're incredibly humble. Erin also has contributed to our Working Through It Wednesdays. She's focused heavily on wellness. There's literally, whether it's skills of, how are you managing as a parent at home with virtual education? If you want to nominate yourself, by all means, shine.
Yes.
There is nothing wrong with saying, you know what? I'm really proud of some of the work that I'm doing, so of course we want to say with Basking, we really look at it as a thank you and as a gratitude, as a place for us to show gratitude to all of all of our individuals throughout South Carolina and all of our districts and communities. Working Through It Wednesdays, you're going to say, what are the skills that have been helping you to thrive, whether it's specifically focused on academics or on interventions or just really on your day-to-day. What are some incredible things that you, your family, you've seen that your youth have been doing? Because I'll tell y'all, man, this generation is doing some incredible things, especially in the virtual realm, to uplift conversations. And so we would love to be able to highlight that. So don't be afraid to hold that flashlight, hold that spotlight and point it at you. And with our webinars, the monthly webinars, we'll connect with you, and those are a little bit more robust. But again, if there's anything that that's going on within the community, within our school communities, our faith-based communities, or our communities at large, and you'd like to see that on our events calendar, please let us know, or nationally or internationally, especially for webinars. So that would be webinars or resources. We really want to make sure that we're being as comprehensive and as collaborative as possible. And as we move forward, certainly we'll be able to expand on those. But Erin, I think that you did a fantabulous job. I'm going to use the word fantabulous because I think that works. But the big takeaway that I hope that everyone has there is, please find the form if you're struggling to find the form and contribute, because we're really looking for a library of resources. We do this every single week and then once a month. So the more the merrier, and the more that we get to highlight the hope. Our state motto is Dum Spiro Spiro. It's while I breathe, I hope. And so let's be a part of that breath. Let's ignite that hope by uplifting our community members. And that's a part of this work. And we're really, really proud of these virtual enhancements. And we would love your feedback on that as well. Now let's see if I've got my screen back. All right. And then finally, And this is something that, of course, just, we are rolling with the changing tides of the time, and we're very, very excited. Our realm 3 is what we would like to call direct services. Basque has been around for a number of years now, but we adjust based off of needs. So what we would call deliverables or support services are going to change based off of need. So one of the things that we're very proud of this year is that our direct services, we're going to be looking, we've always worked systemically, but most certainly we are now having this incredible opportunity to be to work, kind of flip the triangle upside down and work from the top down, so that we're getting an exceptional amount of buy-in. So we'll be working directly with, I believe right now, 7 districts, and helping to support these practices that we've shared with you all, and understand from the voices of the individuals who are boots on the ground at the district level, the teaming that we discussed to begin with, developing some coalitions or task forces around implementation, to guide us in our practice, so that we understand that we have expertise in our field, but at the end of the day, I believe that our team is exceptionally person-centered, and we look and say, help us understand your need and help us to figure out a way for us to facilitate that, and bring to the table the resources that we have, but also maybe share with you a little bit about what you didn't know about the resources that you already have, because sometimes it's nice to have folks that love and care and are compassionate and passionate hold up a mirror to you and remind you why you shine, and remind you why you're incredible, whether you're a student, a teacher, an administrator, a parent, or a supportive other in the community, a coach, an SR, whomever you may be. One of my favorite resources when I was providing direct services in the school was my bus drivers. I could not live without the feedback that I got from the bus drivers. They see our kiddos in the morning and in the afternoon. So making sure we're being collaborative, and we're going to have the opportunity to really, really build that framework, as we move forward into this academic year and learn more of what that's going to look like. Our team, along with a number of other contributors, through what we are calling a steering team, as well as our existing leadership team, which a high degree of gratitude to every individual that is on that team. And it's a number of stakeholders across the state with incredible advocates, incredible allies, incredible voices in our fields, as well as multidisciplinary representation there, where we're going to be looking at developing what is currently being called the High Leverages Practices Manual for South Carolina for social emotional learning. And it's going to be exceptionally comprehensive, but we want to make sure that it's also very user friendly. So we're excited about that. And then we will continue to provide coaching in high leverage practices, evidence-based practices, trauma-informed classroom, those FBAs that we know are so very important, as well as mindfulness skills and classroom management, and hoping to bring more voices to the table. Provision of technical support, and then we are always going to come back to this, making sure that everything that we are doing is data driven, because the data matters, the numbers matter, and it helps to guide us in a functional way to say, what's working, what's not working, and how do we shift and make sure that we're truly, truly meeting the needs. But also the greatest part of Realm 3 is that we get to be directly working with our community members, and we're excited, as I imagine many of you are, to really be able to get back to what that looks like. So I hope that gives y'all a broad spectrum idea of what Basque is and how it fits into the larger Southeastern School Behavioral Health umbrella. But none of this would be possible without the support of the Office of Special Education Services, the Department of Education, the University of South Carolina, incredible team members like Aaron Schurter, Dr. Patricia Motes, Samantha Martinez, who is absolutely incredible. She is not only our social media guru, but handles an incredible amount of additional projects that fall underneath our purview in the lab. Dr. Mark Wiest, who is an incredible not only support but motivator and director for this project. Advisors such as Bob Stevens, collaborators like Kelly Perales and Kim Yannick, and I know I'm going to end up forgetting a few. And then our lovely graduate student, Frances Bradshaw, is amazing. Catherine Widener, who is our conference guru. June Greenlaw, who not only supports the conference, but also more work than I think I could probably fit into a 30-minute working through it Wednesday. And then our lab manager, Dr. Courtney Smith, who is just I think it's Dr. Courtney Smith Collins. I get them backwards. Either way, she is an incredibly wonderful human, and I'm grateful. We model, we practice what we preach. We're collaborative in every way. We're thankful for the state agencies, local nonprofits that support us, and those of you that engage in our webinars, that contribute on our platforms, and and just the youth and parents that provide their voices to guide the work that we do. We wouldn't be able to be here without y'all, and we're excited about having this growth mindset and seeing where 2020 and 2020, 21, 22 hopefully takes us. So Erin, I'm going to let you close out our, what we like to call WTWs. Any additional information, I like to do this because it makes me feel, very 2020. Any information we'll put in the box below. Please provide any aha moments that you may have had from today in the comments. And check us out on our website at www.schoolbehavioralhealth.org/Basque. Take a gander at everything that's on there, and then connect with us on Facebook, Twitter, or on Insta, depending upon where your favorite platforms are. Or if you're like me, jump on all of them.
Absolutely. Thank you, Taylor, for joining us and sharing a little bit more about what the Behavioral Alliance of South Carolina, the School Behavioral Health team, are able to offer. There are so many pieces of the puzzle. The main piece that we really want to highlight today in our Working Through Wednesday is that basking in the spotlight. Please nominate yourself or others as you see fit, as you see people that need a little love and light shined on them, because that's what we're here to do, is to share what's going well, and build up our community, our students, and our staffs in every way possible. So thank you so much for being here to share, and we'll see you next week on Working Through It Wednesday. Bye, everyone.